Boethiah's faithful? I have won this contest before.
Ah, but I have my own champion this time, Logrolf.
Hello.
What? You?
Yep.
Mortal, I give you my mace in all its rusted spitefulness. Crush the spirit from Logrolf's bones. Make him bend to me.
Well, we need the mace anyway for something later.
Do your work, monster.
You mortals and your frail, limp, pathetic bodies. Try it again.
No more. No more. I submit, Molagbal. I submit.
You bend to me.
Yes.
You pledge your soul to me.
Yes.
You forsake the weak and pitiful Boethia.
Yes.
You're mine now, Logrolf. Kill him.
I don't want to die.
The mace of Molagbal. I give you its true power, mortal. When your enemies lie broken and bloody before you, know that I will be watching.
Thank you.
Now, I have a soul in oblivion that needs claiming. Take care of the house while I'm gone.
Oh, and he actually means we can actually use this place as a bit of a player only. Because apparently, after completing Mollybal's task, you can sleep in the bed and you can at least use one or more of the chests in here as safe storage. Legend of Haman Forgefire. Okay. Story time right now. Surely you've heard of the legend of Haman Forgefire, crafter of the kings, manipulator of metals. Forgefire was known as the greatest blacksmith in all the land. Jarl Stains and anyone who could afford the exorbitant prices he commanded sought out Forgefire to create a precious dagger, a sturdy shield, a mighty warhammer, or a suit of finely wrought armor. After a time, Forgefire had to limit the number of commissions he accepted for any given period, as he refused to take on so much that the work would suffer. Other blacksmiths claimed that Forgefire could speak to the ore and charm the impurities away with a wink and a whisper. Most revered the man and were in awe of his skills. A few, however, were jealous of Forgefire's accomplishments. They tried to poison opinions against him, claiming that his methods involved nothing short of magic, and foul magic at that. Daedric magic. Chief among the outspoken smiths was the armorer Gerhild Coldheart. Coldheart was loud and vocal of her distrust of Forgefire and his methods. She wondered aloud in whatever crowded and boisterous tavern she happened to be drinking in what vile Daedric prince the proud and boastful Haman Forgefire pledged himself to in order to accomplish his miracles with metal. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Forgefire was simply brilliant, but that didn't stop Coldheart from spreading her rumors at each and every opportunity. Soon her hatred was almost all-consuming, and it began to affect her work, which had been impressive in its own right until it began to suffer as her jealousy grew. Forgefire did his best to ignore the increasingly wider tales, but commissions were becoming harder and harder to come by as Coldheart's rumors circulated. He couldn't understand why she insisted on saying such false and terrible things. He soldiered on as best he could. However, taking what work still came his way and praying that something would happen to reverse the downward spiral his fortune seemed to be caught in. That's when the greatest commission of Haman's career appeared on his doorstep. The mighty hero, Neville the Tongue, was in the market for a new weapon. And not just any weapon. It had to be a weapon of excellent quality, something to match his beloved sword, Idouge. For his next adventure, Neville wanted a hand axe, and he wanted it crafted by a legendary blacksmith, Haman Forgefire. Delighted at this opportunity and excited at the challenge, Haman began to work at his most spectacular piece ever, the hand axe Oaken. Gurhild Coldheart, meanwhile, was furious. She had petitioned for the commission to craft Neville the Tongue's new weapon, and again, despite her best efforts, Haman was chosen instead of her. Enraged, she did the only thing she could think of. She embraced the very story she had been telling about Forgefire and prayed to a Daedric prince for aid and assistance. She prayed to Molag Bal. For 5 days and 5 nights, Coldheart remained at her own forge, begging Molag Bal to answer her prayers. On the morning of the 6th day, the Lord of Brutality answered her call, but it was never a simple matter to ask a Daedric prince for a favor. Molag Bal especially requires that a cost must be paid. For Gurhild Coldheart, that cost had to be paid in blood. Kill the smith with a blade crafted by your own hand, Molag Bal promised, and I shall make you more famous than Forgefire could ever hope to be. Haman Forgefire completed Oaken, and it was spectacular. He delivered it to Neville just in time for his next journey. When Haman returned to his smithy, he saw Coldheart standing there before his furnace, silhouetted in the glow of the fire. Did you enjoy the adoration of the great Nord hero, Haman? Coldheart asked. I hope so, for it's the last honor you'll receive in this life. Coldheart spun and plunged her sword into Forgefire's heart. The mastersmith stumbled, falling into the intense fire burning in his own furnace. His body, engulfed in flames, burned for 3 days and was not consumed. During that time, Coldheart screamed that she could hear Forgefire's cries of pain no matter how far she ran. Neville proclaimed that Gurhild Coldheart was the worst villain of the age and brought her before the Thane of Windhelm to be executed for her crime. And for that moment she had indeed become the most famous thing, more famous than Haman Forgefire. When Coldheart's head was separated from her body, Forgefire, smithy and all, disappeared from Tamriel. To this very day, it's said that Haman Forgefire stalks the shadows of Coldheart, seeking to finally get revenge against the jealous and traitorous Gurhild Coldheart and anyone else who happens to get in his way. Damn. Oh, wow. Well, it's fitting it's in a house that's used by Molag Bal. We are going to test this out. That does it for this one. Hello.